Okay, this is pretty crazy. Everything's breaking all the time, and this is a big deal. Governor Greedy Gretchen Whitmer, Democrat governor of Michigan, who reportedly, according to the Politico, told her she told Biden a week or so ago. Remember that? A week to 2 weeks ago, that Michigan is now out of reach for you. Which is incredible. That's a massive problem for him. Tonight on Fake News CNN, she said, get ready, listen to this. She said this just about 15, 20 minutes ago.
What more should he do to shut this conversation down? Should he, as some people have suggested, just go ahead and take a cognitive test and demand that Donald Trump do the same?
I don't think that'd hurt, to be honest. But at the end of the day,
So you think that he should take a cognitive test?
I don't think it would hurt. But here's the thing.
Yeah, so that's kind of the end of the bite. But so she says it wouldn't hurt for Biden to take a cognitive test. That's a big deal. That's a big deal, y'all. There's an article today about coworkers and folks having political discussions and possible fights, arguments breaking out at workplaces. And I wanted to ask you what kind of conversations you're having with your friends, your relatives, or your coworkers that are Biden supporters or have been, or Democrats. What are they saying? Are you guys having issues, arguments, problems, or are they having discussions with you now? Are you having discussions with them? And what are they saying? What are you hearing from them? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. What kind of stuff are you hearing from your Democrat and liberal friends? I had a conversation with one of my dear friends who, when we were 16, 17, we met. And I've seen him now the last two times. I've tried to see him once a year, but I've seen him twice in the past 6 months. It's been fantastic and wonderful times together. And it's all about our friendship. Politics came up in December, and politics came up now. And what's incredible is he told me, we were out on the night of July 3rd. Okay. He told me, and look, he is super in the political stuff. Okay. And he's very liberal. And he told me literally a week ago today that he'd be out by the end of the week. Now, I don't know if he meant Friday or Saturday or Sunday, like 4 days, or within a week, doesn't matter. Today is a week. He ain't going nowhere. Isn't this incredible? This is history. And there was no animosity, no negativity. He asked me what I thought. I told him what I thought, and he asked me. He brought it up. I don't bring up politics. And my brother, one of my brothers, is very liberal, and his wife is, and such. And I've established a rule with them, a gentle rule, but no politics, because it's not going to go good. It's not going to go good at all. And I don't want to ever do that, because I love him and I love our relationship more than anything, and that's more important. So what's funny is 90% of the family of my immediate family is and when you look, get my wife and I together, one of my brothers and his wife, we're all very conservative. And so we were talking about it all the time, but it was, there's no disagreements other than discussions. But when you're with people that have issues or they don't agree with you and it can get pretty nasty, then I just, I try not to do it. Now, if they bring it up or if there's no issues and we can talk about that's totally fine with me. But the key is, with us, it was like 5% of the conversation, if that. And that's what you want to do with these folks. You want to love them and invest in them more than anything, friends, family, etc. So what kind of stuff are you hearing from folks at work, in your family and your friendship? Friends with people that are Democrats? What are they saying? 800-288-WBAP is our number. Chime in right now. Lines wide open for you. 800-288-9227. I wanted to share with you some unbelievable polling on the swing states and what people in Wisconsin are saying as well, which is a critical swing state as well. This is unbelievable. Let me play for you a Wisconsin Democrat voter in CNN. This is John King interviewing him, I think, what's the other day here? I don't know exactly which day, the past day or two.
Did he look to you like someone who could serve for president for 4.5 more years?
I think that let me put it this way, I'm voting for the party right now.
Do you think Vice President Harris is qualified to be president?
No, I don't think so.
But you might vote for Joe Biden.
Anyway.
Before the debate.
Okay, that's kind of the end of the cut. But that is on CNN with a average Democrat voter in Wisconsin, a critical swing state, as you know. And Governor Greedy Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, another critical state, just said tonight he should be taking a cognitive test, Biden, and that Trump should too. I want to give you these other results. So this is what blows me away. You ready for this? There's only 7 states that matter. That's literally all that matters. The rest are baked in the cake. Of course, you know that New York is now supposedly up for grabs, which is insane. Biden won up by 23 points last time, and right now he's only up by 8 on the last poll. He went from 23 to 8. That's incredible. But look, the Manhattan borough, look at this. Here's from the Politico, leftist political publication. The Politico says Biden support slips in deep blue New York. Quote, we're a battleground state now. Remember, this is a leftist political publication, and they're quoting the Democrat Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine. We're still acting like this is a one-party state, which for pretty much 20, 25 years it has been. I truly believe we're a battleground state now. He said that today in the Politico. Here's another thing I want to share with you. This is Real Clear Politics. This is the average of all polls that they have available in the past several weeks. Are you ready for this? Pennsylvania. The average of Trump's polling is 5.3 points up in Pennsylvania. 5.3 points up. That is insanity. No poll. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 polls. Emerson, Bloomberg, Remington, Signal, all 4 of them show Trump's up between 4 and 7 points. Isn't that insane? He lost it by like 40,000 or 60,000 or 80,000 votes last time. Arizona, another critical swing state. Trump is up in the Real Clear Politics average 5.4 points. He's up in the Real Clear Politics average in Arizona. Nevada, this is ridiculous. This was never this is unthinkable. My friend, who's a lifelong Nevadan, Las Vegas Nevadan, and is a career talk show host there. I had her on the last round when people were thinking Nevada might be up in place. She said, that's a joke. There's no way. We're not. She knows it. That's her state. Guess what? Now they are, and it's Trump. This is insane. Nevada, the Real Clear Politics average of polls, Trump is up by 5.2 points in Nevada. This is unbelievable. You haven't had a Democrat win Nevada, I think, in 25 years for a president. Wisconsin, the critical swing state. Trump is up in the Real Clear average by 2.2 points in Wisconsin. Remember, all these showed Trump 2 to 5 points below. Everyone I'm mentioning here, all these states were 2 to 5 points Trump behind right now. So and it was closer than that. See what I'm saying? So, like, it's actually going to be probably a little higher than this for right now. But this is just today. It's not 4 months from now. That's what matters. In 3 weeks, the world can change. In 2 weeks, it can. In 24 hours. So I'm not saying we won. In 2024, Wisconsin, right now, all the poll averages in the past several weeks, Trump's up 2.2 in Wisconsin. Michigan. Now, this is the tight one that Governor Gretchen Whitmer reportedly said behind the scenes a week or so ago. We're not going to be able. Michigan's out of reach. The Real Clear Politics average shows Trump up by 0.6%, just over 0.5%. That's terribly close. But nonetheless, every poll has Trump winning by 1, by 3, by 4. One's a tie, and then Biden up by 5. So that's why it comes out at 0.6 right now in there. North Carolina, it's a joke. Trump's going to win it. That shouldn't even be a swing state. It's 5.8 points for Trump. It's going to be better. Georgia, Trump's up by 4 points in Real Clear Politics average of polls, okay? So Trump is up by everything, and it's Michigan and Wisconsin that are a little closer, but he's still up in them. That's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. It's amazing. More details on this, headlines and stories that are really sad for Biden about his chances of winning. And then, speaking of which, you can hear about a story where Biden's camp is telling the workers in the campaign right now, worry less. Stop worrying. Isn't that funny? Everything's fine. Don't worry about anything. It's all good. That's next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
You notice when he turns, it's kind of
What do you mean?
Rigidity, loss of arm swing, standing up lordically. You notice when he turns, it's kind of end block turning. It's not a quick turn. So that's one of the hallmarks of Parkinsonism is rigidity and bradykinesia, slow movement. And he has that hallmark, especially with the low voice that said was a cold hypophonia. A small monotone voice like this over time is a hallmark of Parkinsonism. I could have diagnosed him from across the mall. But once you start manifesting the hallmark motor symptoms,
right,
slow movement, rigidity, mass facies, hypophonia. I mean, if a med student did not pick Parkinson's on the test, they'd be remediated.
Let me also share some brand new CNN poll just coming in. This is incredible. Ready? Okay, Biden versus Trump, independents. That's how the election's won. Seriously, right? Biden versus Trump, independents. Here we go. In November of 2020, when the election happened 4 years ago in November, independents were for Joe Biden by 11 points. Okay, Joe Biden had a margin of 11 point margin over Trump for independents when the election happened last election in November. Okay, before the debate, Trump had a 2 point lead over Biden in independents. Okay, before the debate, Trump up 2 points. So it went from Biden 11 in November 2020. And then just before the debate, Trump was up 2 points in independents. Guess how much it went after the debate? Independents. It went from 2 points for Trump, 2 points in Trump's favor in independents, to 9 points in Trump's favor, independents, after the debate. This is brand new on CNN from their polling. Let me tell you one more thing that just came in on their poll just moments ago. They had two things from their Harry Anton, their top pollster. There's one more I got to share with you here. If the screen would move faster for me. Here it is. Okay, ready? Independents who think Biden is too old to be an effective president. In 4 years ago today, like mid-June actually, so almost 4 years ago, 38% of the independents thought Joe was too old. Okay, 38. Before the debate, 75% of independents said he was too old. Okay, so it went from 38 to 75. It pretty much doubled. Okay, after the debate, it went up 4 more points to 79%. Almost 80% of all independents think Joe's too old after the debate. There you go. From 4 and 10 to now 8 and 10. It's amazing, isn't it? It's his doubly screwed there. Worry less is what the Biden camp is trying to rally demoralized staff over. I plead with you. Governor Gavin Newsom was pulled in. He was pulled in to tell Biden's team leaders, quote, I plead with you, worry less, do the work. He was brought in to give a pep talk to Greasy Gavin was brought in. He told the staffers this. He said, quote, I think there's an old African proverb. Leave it to a rich white man to tell you an African old proverb, right? He can take that from our African American friends from proverb. You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. And that's what this is all about. He added, there's never been a president in our lifetime. I don't know if there ever will be again that's delivered more than President Biden. Yes, more Dookie in his underwear. In fact, he says it's just a fact. We have to bypass the narrative out there. The campaign chair, Jen O'Malley Dillon. We have to bypass the narrative out there. We have to... She said Biden campaign told officials at Axios that chat functions are never enabled on staff calls. You can't chat. They don't want you to be able to contact each other. When the debate video feed was temporarily interrupted, one campaign staffer blurted out, oh, thank God. As the president fumbled several answers in the debate, one person stood up and then laid down on the floor, despondent, according to a person in the room. At the Biden campaign headquarters in Wilmington, 24 Biden staffers and pro-Biden influencers gathered for the watch party. As I said, one fell on the floor, despondent, according to several people in the room. This is incredible. Is he okay? One Biden aide texted another during the debate. Another Biden staffer recalled that given the president's energetic State of the Union address, I was convinced before the debate Biden would clean the floor with Trump. Staffer added, some members of their family are panicky Democrats who have convinced for a while that Biden was too old to run. I've been defending him. I had to reckon in real time with them. I thought they were right. Mike in Plano, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. What's up?
Hey, Chris, you're a great American. Hey, so when is the next debate? Because
September.
This is where No, I thought it was in August, wasn't it?
Oh, no, I think it's September. I'll look it up right now while we're talking about it. I think it's September. Go ahead.
But anyway, so this is how Biden should be pushing towards the next debate. This is how he clears up all of the questions. It's just that this debate was so good for us. We need to have another debate. We need to let Biden really show us, how clear-minded he is.
It's September.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was. That's what I said, right? September. President Biden and former President Trump have agreed to one more showdown on the debate stage before the election. September rematch will come after both candidates formally accept their nomination. This is awesome.
So Trump needs to be pushing that next debate. He needs to really make sure that Joe stays in for that next debate.
Yes. And he will. I think so. Do you think he will, or do you think he's going to be forced to bow out or bow out?
I think he's going to stay until they run him out of town on a rail. I don't think he's going to go willingly.
They're trying to run him out of town on a rail right now. Then why won't he go out?
Because he's too narcissistic.
Yes.
It's all about Joe and his son. How is Hunter Biden allowed to be in his briefings?
Well, now it's his not a Dr. Jill is also in those meetings too now.
Neither of these. I mean, Hunter was kicked out of the Navy for using drugs. He has no security clearance whatsoever. He's not trustworthy to have security clearance.
No.
How is he allowed to be in these briefings?
He's a convicted felon, and he's going to be, unfortunately, much more of a convicted felon with the tax evasion coming up in a month and a half, 2 months on trial. So, yeah, right. I agree with you. But they're running the presidency. Not a Dr. Jill and Hunter are both, saying, remember you said this? Remember you want this? No, Dad, this is what you want. In his moments of non-lucidity, which are getting more and more. Thank you, Mike, for your great call, brother. Appreciate you. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Would you worry less, as the Democrat staffers are telling everybody, including Gavin Newsom flown in to do that? I don't think so. All right, coming up next on the Chris Kroc Show, is Mrs. Hussein Obama, will she actually run? Will she take over? I'm going to tell you what I think, and do not miss this, actually. Very good stuff coming up next on the Chris Kroc Show, plus your call, who you think is going to replace Joe, if anyone. 800-288-WBAP, Chris Kroc Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
It was being incorrectly assumed and insinuated that the president had seen Dr. Kennard more than 3 times. I said that it was only 3 times that the president had seen a neurologist. I didn't confirm the name, but I did say it was only 3 times. It was being incorrectly assumed and insinuated that the president was being treated for Parkinson's. I said right here that the president was not being treated for Parkinson's. I actually went a step further and said he wasn't taking medication for Parkinson's. I said that right here. It was also being assumed and insinuated that Dr. Kennard was someone who only worked on Parkinson's when, in fact, he's a general neurologist. That was something that Dr. O'Connor was actually able to confirm, that he was a general neurologist, not in fact a general neurologist. And we also wanted to set the record straight. And so, it is important. We believe it was important to all of you. I actually even said here at the podium, if there was more information that we could provide, we would do that. We would do that. And we did. But many of the things that I said right here is in the letter.
All right, so this is a horrible narrative that they cannot shake because the president is not qualified to be the president. But the thing is, we've been saying it for 3 years and everybody knows it. However, this is the bed they've made, and they've been covering it up as recently as a couple weeks ago in all the mainstream media. I've read you the headlines and the stuff that's incredible. How much of a lie they were promulgating and promoting as recently as, right before the debate. By the way, the next debate, as we mentioned in the last segment, is September. So excited about that. It's going to be on ABC News. Same rules as far as I'm aware, which means Biden sinks again. I wonder if there'll be a chance he gets the dosage right for him to, get the focus and energy to do a decent job. He's sure going to try. It'll be interesting, won't it? Oh, this is going to be amazing. Now, the last one was 51 million people watched. This time it's going to be probably 80 or 90 million, isn't it? Because they're going to everybody's going to want to see the freak show that they're expecting. Now, will he do a better job? I don't know. I pray it's the same format. I told you it would help Trump. I was right. I told you. He can't interrupt him. By the way, did you see that Biden lied and said that the reason why he couldn't keep his train of thought was because Trump was yelling, even though his mic was cut off? I mean, did you see him yelling? Did you see him? No. He's a lying liar. That's all he does is lie. But he's not stepping down. Or will Michelle Hussein Obama, will Mrs. Hussein Obama, or some call her Michael, but Barack, I'm back. I'm ready to eat. Are you ready? It's all a joke. Calm down, everybody. Or is it? Reuters survey released just last week showed 55% of registered voters hold a favorable opinion of Mrs. Hussein Obama. Only 38 say the same of Biden, so that's almost 20%. That's a 17-point advantage. She was the only Democrat in the poll who commanded enough support, the Daily Mail says today, to potentially defeat Trump. She blew Trump out of the water in a head-to-head matchup, 50% to 39%. We want Mrs. Hussein Obama, the woman who hates America and says it's racist. Okay. You want to be shamed for another 4 years or 8 years? That's your business. This is so funny. We have in February 2011, Obama said the First Lady doesn't project the image of a woman you might see on the cover of a Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. That was supposedly controversial. In December, later on that year, Congressman Jim Sensenbrenner forced to apologize after he said it was loudly discussing Michelle's large posterior at Reagan National Airport. Even more distressing, the personal attacks, says Daily Mail. People would say, well, she's not even really a woman, she's a man. Sorry, I got a little cough. Hey, Barack. Let's go, we're running late. We got a hot date tonight, baby. Oh, hey, I'll be right there. Hey, a little bit clear. I'll be right there. They would bizarrely and grotesquely question her sexuality, said somebody in this article. She's never in her entire life, quote, had a interest in elective office. She was consistently deeply uncomfortable with Mr. Hussein Obama wanting to be a politician right from the early 1990s onward, says their biographer. She could not wait to get them out of the White House. So you think she's going to run back in the White House that she couldn't wait to get out of? Let me tell you something. Let's do something I think about from time to time. There are people who are in an abusive marriage with a filthy rich person, a filthy rich man or woman, and they're in an abusive situation, and people are like, but you have all that money. Just, avoid them as much as possible and enjoy the lifestyle. And they would say to you, you don't realize the hell I'm in. You don't realize the hell I'm in. Or you might be in a wealthy marriage to somebody who cheats prolifically and is unrepentant about that. You might be in a mentally abusive, not physically abusive relationship, and it's hell. You might have somebody in a job that's a dream job for you that is their apex, that they're so miserable at because of the boss that they leave. And you're like, I can't believe you gave up that dream job. What I'm trying to say is, I've been in this situation before where I've been in hell. And my wife can't see it, not literal hell, but my wife can't see it. She's like, what do you mean? Just, deal with it, kind of stuff. And people don't realize how much you and I may be in a situation where it's a living hell. Make sense? And a moment more is a moment in more hell for you. And it's that unbearable. It might be hard for other people to understand. Do you honestly think Mrs. Hussein Obama would put herself in that situation for 4 to 8 years and be in the grind of this stuff? This woman would hate every moment there. She would hate leading up to it. She would hate campaigning for it other than attacking somebody. She doesn't like doing that, apparently. And then she would be miserable for 8 years with the world staring at her and having to be in front of the world. You think she's going to do that? That's her living hell. That literally she couldn't wait to get out of there. She wants to go back into what she hated. You know what I mean? It'd be like saying she couldn't wait to get back into an abusive relationship. So I'll ask you the question. Is Michelle Obama going to run for president? Do you actually think Michelle Hussein Obama is going to run for president? 800-288, and if not, who will run instead of Biden, if anybody? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Now here's the very famous African-American, I think he's a comedian, right? And an actor, and all this. D.L. Hughley, or is he a radio guy? I don't know. We all know his name. He's a massive celebrity in the African-American media community or whatever. He calls for the media. He says calls for the media to have, it says calls to have Biden drop out are ridiculous. See, when you had the Congressional Black Caucus yesterday saying, I'm riding with Biden, remember that? Yeah. No, nobody is going to, he's not going to back down. He's got James Clyburn, the most powerful African-American elected official, one would say possibly in the country, really. All right, 800-288-WBAP. Chime in right now, 800-288-9227. Do you think Michelle Obama is going to run for president? And if not, do you think somebody else is, and who? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. It's not going to be Mrs. Hussein Obama. And here's what the presidential biographer for Mr. Obama said. She could not wait to get out of the White House. And Barack knows way better than even to imagine to try to have his wife run. She has spoken openly about having to call 12 people to even go on a walk, and now how she hated the invasion of her privacy. We can't do the ordinary things of life, like go to a movie theater. I joked in COVID when people asked we're all in quarantine how I felt. I felt, well, it's kind of easy for us because we've lived in quarantine for like a decade. We feel so bad for you, man, with your $40 or $50 million house in Martha's Vineyard on the ocean, on the ocean front where the sea levels you claim are rising. You somehow bought an oceanfront property in Martha's Vineyard, and also you bought an oceanfront property in Hawaii in a tens of millions, $30, $40, $50 million mansion on the Hawaii coast, right? Right on the coast, right where the sea is. And you're telling us sea levels are rising, right? That's why you spent whatever $60 to $80 million on two houses on the sea. Love it. Anyways, no, they're not going anywhere. They're not running. All right. Coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. This is a good one. House Oversight, the House Oversight Committee, that's James Comer, subpoenas top Biden aides, 3 of them, over his mental fitness, to see if they're covering up. They subpoenaed them. I'm going to tell you if I think it's a good idea or a bad idea and why, and it's probably going to surprise you. That is next on the Chris Crock Show. Lines wide open for you at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227 on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
In response to those comments from George Clooney, Jake, a campaign official who attended that Los Angeles fundraiser tells me that George Clooney left 3 hours before the president. So clearly the gloves are off. Jake?
But what does that mean that George Clooney left 3 hours? What's the point?
The point of that is to suggest that Biden's stamina is better than Clooney's, and Clooney didn't have, eyes on the entire event. That's the response to the Clooney op-ed.
Okay.
Very reassuring there as Jake Tapper at CNN laughs at Biden now attacking George Clooney. It's George Clooney can't keep up with Joe. See this? It's so real, guys. It's so real. We all know it. George is amazing. Joe's amazing. It's insane if you look at the Pennsylvania Trump versus Biden Real Clear Politics average. And you see they have like a graph, like a heart monitor. It's going up or down, right? And they've got the Republican line, red line for Trump, and the blue line for Biden. And as of the debate, it literally separated, and Biden went way down, stabilized, then went way down again, like cratered. And then Trump went down a little bit, then stabilized, then went way up. Crazy, guys. Doesn't mean he's going to win. It just means right now it's incredibly in our favor right now. Or I shouldn't say incredibly, but it really is in our favor right now. In every swing state, it's pretty amazing. It's still very close in Pennsylvania and in Wisconsin, more so in not Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, Michigan. But there you have it. Crazy, guys. Unbelievable and crazy. Now, the Republican House, James Comer's committee. James Comer is the chairman of the Oversight Committee in the House. He has subpoenaed 3 top Biden officials that are real close to him in the campaign. Not in the campaign, but real close to him in the White House. Because he's out to prove that they've been lying. He's out to put them under oath to force them to say under oath what the president's condition is. And I think this is a stupid thing. I think it's really stupid. Comer is like an old school fool when it comes to how to run things. And a lot of the stuff he's done, and much of it I do support, but other stuff it's like he kept saying on many occasions how much stuff he's got in the Biden crime family, and they are a crime family, and they are guilty of all the stuff they're alleging. But if you don't have the goods to deliver, stop saying stuff and stop going on every night saying he's guilty, he's guilty. Well, where's the evidence? Well, we got this, we got that, but there's no smoking gun. Get the best thing together you can before you start calling, Chicken Little with his head cut off. He did that way too much, and now he wants to subpoena these 3 people with Biden. Are you stupid? Are you stupid? What are you doing, you idiot? This is the dumbest. This guy's an idiot. They're imploding, dude. Get out of the way. Chip Roy, I told you about him yesterday or the other day. He came out and he's like, oh, we need the 25th Amendment. I want to do an article for 25th. What are you, stupid? Get out of the way. Are you trying to help Biden win? These 2 are idiots with this. They're not in general. I'm not saying they're idiots. I'm saying they're being idiots in these 2 examples. They're obviously so off their rocker on this. They're helping Joe Biden to win. Stop going after him and the staff. Let them implode. Sit back and watch like Trump's been doing for the most part. By the way, that D.L. Hughley thing, he was going off on Trump and then CNN on the screen grab or the headline there while they were having D.L. Hughley on the last segment I mentioned. He's like totally backing cackling Kamala and about Joe having to step down. He's like, he doesn't have to step down. Well, good. You're one of the 71% loyalist African Americans. It used to be 90. Now it's 71 with Biden. Keep saying that. Keep doing what the people in the party tell you what to do. Okay? But I saw some stuff up there that led me to believe truly how the black community is going to fiercely own and defend Kamala. And they didn't give a frog's fat what about her when she ran against Joe. You know that? She had a 0.0 when she was in she dropped out in the South Carolina primary, which is a heavily African American state, and when she had 0.0 votes in the overwhelmingly black state of South Carolina. She couldn't score a darn thing, but now that she might be getting kicked out, all of a sudden they're being told, African Americans in the Democrat Party are being told, oh, got to take offenses, be offended. And maybe they are, but I think that it's kind of like, everybody gets whipped up to be angry about it. But nobody gave a frog's fat patootie about her before. So I do think you're going to see that raging outcry from the absolute staple of the Democrat Party, African Americans. If she gets tossed to the side, this is incredible to watch. He ain't going nowhere. Biden's not going anywhere, and she ain't going anywhere. Cackling Kamala is going to continue to lie for Joe until at least after he officially gets the nomination, and probably until he actually wins. And then sometime after, he won't win. He'll be running in the election, and then when he loses at some point, then I guess stuff will happen. But I don't think he's getting down anywhere. He's stepping down anywhere.